¿Cómo podemos solucionar salud de los estudiantes? ¿Por qué comenzamos la escuela a las 8:15? ¿Por qué deberíamos comenzar la escuela a las 9:15? Pienso que la hora de inicio es un problema porque adolescentes necesitan 8 a 10 horas para dormir y es peligroso por muchas razones. Por ejemplo, según el artículo, con falta de sueño los adolescentes están en riesgo de estados de ánimo depresivos, tardanzas y absentismo, conducir con sueño, obesidad y los grados podría sufrir.
Okay,
Esto es
when do
un
you normally,
estudiante
or
y
how many
una
hours of sleep do
maestra
you get
hablando
on
de las
average?
buenas cosas de una hora de
Okay.
inicio un poco luego.
Have you ever, okay, when do you normally, or how many hours of sleep do you get on average?
Like 6
Okay. Have you ever fallen asleep in class?
all the time.
Like how often?
Usually in the morning.
Okay.
Morning classes.
How would you feel about pushing back school start times to 9:15?
It'd be great.
Do you think it would help with falling asleep in class?
Probably not.
All right. How would you feel about pushing back school start times to 9:15?
Oh, I think that'd be great. My children have a very hard time waking up in the morning.
Do you feel that pushing school times back would also help with student life and student success?
I do. I feel like the first period of the day, the kids aren't really even fully awake. So I think that would help them a lot. And also with attendance, because the first period of the day, that I only have class on A days for first period. And I have so many tardies compared to other classes. So
How many hours
Algunos
of sleep do you get on average?
estudiantes utilizan su tiempo sabiamente,
Do
pero la
you eat
mayoría
breakfast every
no
morning?
quieren o no pueden.
Do you feel like you have
Este es
enough time
un
to?
estudiante que es capaz de
Yeah, for the most
utilizar su
part.
tiempo de dormir.
When do you normally go to bed?
I usually get in bed by 9:30.
When do you normally wake up?
7 to 7:15.
How many hours of sleep do you get on average?
9.
Have you ever fallen asleep in class?
No, like not actually falling asleep.
How would you feel about pushing back school times to start at 9:15?
I feel like that would be really good for like most students because they get to sleep more, but then I feel like they would also use that as an excuse and just like stay up even later, like they wouldn't actually catch up on their sleep.
¿Por qué comenzamos la escuela a las 8:15? Comenzamos la escuela a las 8:15 porque las actividades extracurriculares. Los estudiantes necesitan hora para practicar en la luz y para caminar a la casa con seguridad. También los estudiantes necesitan hora por la tarea, la familia y trabajo. Esto es el director deportivo y el subdirector hablando de los retos de una hora de inicio posterior.
As a parent, it would be great.
How would you feel about pushing back school start times to 9:15?
As a parent, it would be great because I think kids need more sleep in the morning. But as a person who's in charge of school, it'd be really hard to figure out how we'd get the number of hours in and still do the extracurriculars.
Yeah. How would this affect after school athletics?
Part of it would be okay going to the new building we're at because we're going to have 2 gyms. So those inside events like volleyball, basketball, wrestling could start later because we could have 2 separate spaces. It would be a little harder on some of the soccer, football type because we only have one field they can play on that's turf. So we'd have to start games later in the park, and we wouldn't have CUBs and have to go through a lot of things, and that would kind of hamper what the middle school youth people who are running soccer and all that. So that'd be harder.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it.
How would you feel about pushing back school start times to 9:15?
Pushing school time back would be an ideal situation for our students, in that they would, get more hours of rest, which is needed for the developmental age that they're at. It does pose some other challenges, but something that should be considered in the future.
And have there been any talk before about pushing back school start times?
Each year, the district works with the teachers union to look at school start time and just the school schedule overall. And there is a recognition that some middle schools start later, and so why can't high school start later? But the reality is that because pushing the start time back actually causes this ripple effect, so it would cause sports to start later, et cetera, and which would definitely impact a lot of the extracurricular activities as we're trying to compete at the OSA level and with other districts. And if they're not on the same start time as us, then it could definitely impact those activities.
Sin embargo, los adolescentes tienen relojes internos y ellos son diferentes que otros grupos de edad. Deberíamos cambiar la hora de inicio porque es más difícil por los adolescentes quedarse dormido temprano en la noche. Y como los adolescentes se quedan hasta tarde, la hora de inicio por las escuelas son cada vez más temprano. Entonces, este es un problema porque nosotros necesitamos más horas de sueño para estar atento a estudiantes sin ansiedad. Y en mi opinión es un gran problema porque esto está afectando el éxito de los estudiantes.